Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Among. We're coming up on the program this morning. The Super Eagles of Nigeria and Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. That game ended goalless for the second time. Super Eagles of Nigeria could not get a win over Cameroon, ended goalless. Also on the program, Super Falcons have landed in the US. They're ready for the summer series against USA, Portugal, and of course Jamaica. That's part of US build up to the Olympics. Why the Super Falcons will use that to start road to qualifying for the Africa Women's Nations Championship. Also in the program, Nikola Jokic, no doubt about it. He's the MVP, NBA MVP for 2020 and 2021 season. And of course, that's where I'm starting the show off this morning, talking about Nikola Jokic. Everyone expected that he was going to be, because if you check all the big players all the big players this season, most of them that were running for that position, talking about candidates for MVP, both LeBron James from Joel Embiid, they all at one point or the other actually, got injured, had to go away for a while. But Nikola Jokic played 72 games all through the season, and he has led his team to the semifinal of the NBA playoffs. And that's why this guy from the Denver Nuggets is named the MVP, becoming the third player from Europe to have this exclusive award, so to speak. He was running against Joel Embiid in his second, and of course Steph Curry, but he got the very best of it because he had about 970 something points ahead of where you have John Embiid have 586. Steph Curry had 453. And of course, he put 91 first place votes, a total of 971 total votes. And that's the reason he's named MVP. And in the regular season, he averaged 26.4 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 8.3 assists per game. And that's a combined total of 45.5, leading the NBA alongside, of course, triple-double king. You know him, Russell Westbrook. So this guy had a fantastic season, and that's why he's named the MVP. And remember when he was drafted, he was actually drafted 41 overall in 2014 NBA draft, all the way from Serbia. So this particular player, he was really surprised that he even made, he got the overall, he got the overall vote, being named the MVP for the 2020 and 2021 season. Let's listen to him talking about how surprised he was when he heard the news that he has been named the MVP.
It's an accomplishment that show me that I'm doing a good job, of playing basketball. We are trying, that I'm doing something that people recognize, So it doesn't affect me that much, to be honest. When I see the list, of course, it's a great names. It's an honor to be on that list. But I never even thought that I'm going to be on the list. So, it's a surprise, but it's something that I'd rather again win a championship than win an MVP. So something that I really it's really nice to nobody believes in you. So it's proving people wrong. Surprising the world around the world can offer something different. And something, especially the players who play, let's say EuroLeague, because it's a little bit more not focus, it's just disciplined basketball, I think personally, and they can offer a lot more of discipline in today's NBA, I think.
There's only some things I can control. Obviously, as a team, we had a good year, and I was a part of it. And it's disappointing because as a player, you work hard for moments like this. But then again, it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do about it. I just gotta come out every year and just be ready and do my job. But I'm focused on the playoffs. I'm focused on winning the championship. Like I've been saying all season, we got a good chance. So I'm not worried about those awards and stuff. If and when I'm holding that trophy, anything else won't matter.
Obviously, Joel Embiid, he's not happy. Well, we'll see if at the end of the season, if Philadelphia 76ers, he can lead them to win the NBA championship. I have Rotimi Akindele in the studio this morning. He was in Rwanda for a while. He's not been around. He's been back from Rwanda for like 2 weeks now, or thereabout.
No.
2 weeks?
No.
Okay, a week plus. What was it like in Rwanda, Kigali?
Good morning. It was a good outing, talking
Yeah.
about the BAL. the
Yes,
Basketball
of course.
Africa
That's the
League,
reason you were there.
Yeah, so, it was good. NBA standard, good competition, well put together. Safety was their priority, so
Okay.
you had to get tested every day.
Oh, boy.
Bubble was super effective. We didn't have any major cases.
You didn't have any time to party. You didn't go out, nothing.
No, you couldn't because you had to respect the
Protocol.
guidelines or the protocols now that
Put in
were
place.
on ground. Yeah, so but it was good overall. I mean, the tournament itself was okay. And once again, congrats to Zamalek for winning. Monastir got distracted. For the Nigerian team, hopefully we can get our act right on the home front so that we can put out a better performance when we go out on the continent. But overall experience, the BAL was very good.
Okay, amen to the Rivers Hoopers and Nigeria putting up in a good
It's
team.
not just
so we
Rivers
can have-
Hoopers. It has to, any other team can qualify. So.
Any other team come? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. We have it because right now we don't know what's going to happen, and this is going to be every year, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is June. We're still waiting. We still have 6 months to go in 2021. See if we can have at least maybe 3 or 4 months of basketball in Nigeria. Okay, still talking basketball. Yes, MVP. I mean, the last time we have a center actually winning the MVP was Shaquille O'Neal. That was in 2000. And when you heard the news that Nikola Jokic is the MVP, were you surprised by that? Totally deserved?
Not surprised because the cast somehow this year was a bit tight.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid had a fantastic regular season, and then Jokic as well. You can't rule out the fact that he also did put in some good shift. You can mention what's the name, Giannis
Steph Curry,
Antetokounmpo.
yeah.
You can mention Steph Curry. You can mention James Harden. So you look at all of this, and I'm sure it was difficult for the guys that came up with the final result to actually go on to announce. Everyone had felt during the regular season that it was going to be Joel Embiid,
Yes.
just because of the way he had carried the 76ers, past the regular season, going into the postseason,
Season.
which is the playoffs. Yes, Embiid is okay for him to be disappointed, but then again, I don't think it's totally out of place
Okay.
to have given it to Nikola Jokic.
I think too, because 72 games and they miss one game. I think
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, sure.
That's huge. Okay, results from last night. Talking about 76ers, yes, Joel Embiid had to send a message. Missing out of the MVP did not really kind of dampen his mood or anything. I mean, he put off 45 points. By how many points? 40 points on night for the 76ers to beat the Hawks by 118 and 102. And they tied the series 1-all. That's in game 2. For the Clippers and the Jazz, it was all about the Clippers. The Jazz 112 and 1-0. Now, of course, we'll quickly focus on the game between the Clippers and the Utah Jazz. That game you had, of course, Donovan Mitchell, anytime he's there, he's just know how to produce some fantastic performance. He dropped a 32 of his 45 points in the second half, guiding them to that thrilling win against the LA Clippers.
I felt the Clippers would have done a whole lot more defensively. You knew what Donovan can probably bring into a game. And going into that game last night, his average point was 28 points. So if you had marked such a player, you probably feel this guy can punish us. And having 45 points on the night, I think was brilliant for Donovan Mitchell. There's some players you can't stop when they're in their mood in the game. And for Clippers, I'm sure they've relied on Kawhi Leonard and feel, oh, it's going to come out big. But then another advantage for the Jazz was that they are well rested. They were well rested going into that game. The Clippers, they just came off that marathon against the Mavericks. So it's understandable that the Utah Jazz took the first game, and it wasn't really much. Talking about the Magic, just 3 points. I'm sure it's going to be a very, very tight series. And then I expect the Clippers to respond in game 2.
Game 2, and talking about Kawhi Leonard, he had just 23 points, Paul George 20 points and
That means
10
he was
rebounds.
tired.
I mean, of course, they were just unable to lift that
Exactly.
team. Rudy
Yeah.
Gobert, of course, fellow All-Star, he dropped 10 points and 12 rebounds for the Jazz. Quickly talking about 76ers and the Hawks, tied 1-1 in Game 2. Joel Embiid dropping 40 points, 10 rebounds.
I was a bit surprised. So the first game, we all saw, we also saw our Hawks probably strolled past the
Yeah.
76ers. And then Embiid was rushed back for that game. Even in Game 2, everyone had felt, oh, they're probably going to rush him back because his support cast not really strong, talking about Joel Embiid. But, he did enough on the night, 40 points, 118 to 102. I think it was fine for the 76ers to stay in the game. And tying the series 1-1, if you had called it on paper, probably everyone would say, oh, because Joel Embiid is not 100%, Atlanta Hawks should go through. But then it looks like we're set up, we're braced for an interesting series, 1-1. I feel it's still too close to say Hawks will go through or 76ers will go through. If there's any glitch to Embiid's fitness, then it's advantage Hawks.
It's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah.
All right, let's listen to Donovan Mitchell talking about his game on the night, dropping 45 points. That's why the father says he wasn't feeling too good on the night.
I was definitely, feeling it a little bit, but sometimes you just got to dig deep into a different place. And individually, the first half on both ends of the floor wasn't making the right reads. Luke hit a bunch of shots on me. Reggie hit a bunch of shots on me, and there were situations that I was just being lazy, and letting that fatigue kind of get to me. So I came in at halftime. I was just like, look, I'm just gonna have to find a way. And that was the biggest thing for me. And you hear that with what Coach said. I forgot I was mic'd up, so I didn't know that y'all caught that. But that's why I love Coach, man. And obviously the Coach of the Year stuff came out, and I always believe he's the Coach of the Year because at some point in time, you got to dig deep. We've been in a similar situation. Game 6 against OKC, where things were kind of sporadic in the first half, and in the third quarter, you got to go out there in the fourth quarter, you got to find a place, and that was pretty much it. And as far as Dwayne goes, I continuously ask him what he sees. I know what I see, but sometimes you have a different perspective, especially sitting on the floor like that, like being able to see what he sees in his mind. It's great to have your coaching staff, you have your players, and then you have a guy like a Hall of Famer in Dwayne Wade to be like, what do you see? How can I be even more efficient? And, tonight it was a good night, but there were definitely some stuff that I missed, that I definitely could be better at. And I think for me, that's really where my head is at. At the end of the day, 45 is great, but could have easily had 8 or 9, even 10 assists. Could have had some rebounds, that I could have definitely changed the game too. So for me, that's really where a lot of it was at. But
a great performance from him, talking about his game on the night, overall performance. He could have had more if he was feeling good. Okay, and then we have the top performer, right? Joel Embiid dropped 40 on the night, 13 and 2. And of course, talking about the guy who just finished talking, dropping 45 on the night. Talking about Donovan Mitchell, dropped 45 on the night. He couldn't get a double-double. He felt he could have had more. Okay. All right, we need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, well, how they failed to beat Cameroon over 2 attempts. Welcome back. Okay, we know the Tokyo Olympic Games is around the corner, of course, and everyone has been talking about it. And table tennis, what is happening to Team Nigeria? Monday contact caught up with Eniton Shodio, who is now the vice president, right? The African Table Tennis, ATTF, African Table Tennis Federation. So he talked about Nigeria's preparations for Tokyo Games, of course, what he expects to see. Let's take a listen to him.
What we've been trying to achieve with bringing a new team on board is trying to align with the new vision of the ITTF. Africa, I think, has been left behind in the last few years in terms of the professionalization of our sports. And so now our main focus is really to catch up with the whole world. Our athletes are doing well. We've done our best so far, but 5 Africans in the top 100, that's not good enough as far as we're concerned. So now we have crop of fantastic young players all across Africa, the West, the North, the South, And so it's how we develop to get to the next level. Also bringing the game to the people. I think Nigeria has been a leader in that, showing them that football has done well. I think basketball is doing well in Africa as well. So it's time to catch up with those guys. Table tennis, of course, sport played by probably more people in the world than even football, with its popularity in Asia and most of Europe. So we're hoping we can bring some big sponsors on board. They've helped us, greatly in Nigeria, in Egypt. Now we're looking to make it a Pan-African sport. So I think exciting times for table tennis in Africa. That's what we're trying to project now. Before we left for the last Olympics, I projected Aaron Okwodri getting a round of 16 place. He got a quarterfinal place. Anybody can do anything in the Olympics. It's a knockout event. On the day, Aaron Okwodri has the quality to beat anybody in the world. So he has to have 3-4 very good days, and sometimes that's difficult. But he has the potential. Jide Omotayo, all he now needs to build his confidence. We've seen him beating Aaron Okwodri in the All African Games final. He has that top world class quality, but now you have to show it on the day. But the competition is fierce. The Chinese, the Germans, everybody. It's going to be tough, but it will be exciting. But I keep faith. With the women's side, of course, that's more difficult. We have Funke Oshanaike, Edem Offiong, excellent players at the African level. World level, a bit more difficult. But, we're hoping now to start bringing the younger players. My focus is always on the younger players, and hopefully we can look forward to the next Olympics after this and sound confident that we have somebody who can definitely challenge for an Olympic medal.
All right, building the younger ones. That's what it's all about. You projected about Haruna Quadri, but because of Haruna Quadri's last season injury and everything, well, you really can project what's going to happen in Tokyo 2021 for table tennis, right?
Well, it's still a big name.
Yeah.
It's got the experience, so it's expected that at least if he goes into the games 100% in terms of physical fitness now, he should be able to bank on his experience and all that, and then get to maybe the latter stages. Quarterfinals was good. Semi-finals this time maybe, or even the final, or at least fight for a medal.
Okay.
Yeah, so semis or even the main finals, one of gold, silver, or bronze should be fine for Aaron Okwodri. And then I think tennis is safe with the likes of Ennington Oshodi. We know his antecedents, we know what he's done, especially on the Nigerian scene. So hopefully looking forward to that big boom for African tennis.
I'm looking forward
African
to it.
table tennis, right?
Table tennis. I'm looking forward to it too. Yes, table tennis to be specific.
Table tennis.
Because that's where right now we are bigger, not the tennis. Okay. Let's talk about the Nations Cup, the Handball Nations Cup taking place in Yaoundé in Cameroon. Well, Team Nigeria, not a good way. They didn't start on a good note because they lost their opening game to DR Congo. The first match, they lost by as much as 14 points. Yeah, 16-35. That's how it ended in the first match of Group B. So they couldn't just match up with the girls, from DR Congo. At halftime, it ended 18-3. Yes, 18-3. You heard that correctly. At halftime. But then second half, they came back trying to get more points, but they just couldn't get enough because DR girls have already opened that very wide lead, about 15 points in the first half. So we're able just to manage more points, scored 11 to add to the 3 they scored in the first.
And then
they ended up
DRC
just
scored
scoring-
17.
They scored 17.
Yeah, so
yeah.
we were well beaten.
11-17
Yeah, we were
in
well
the second. We were well beaten there. But if you know the story of the girls, before they
Yeah,
could
so,
go,
I mean,
how the sport ministry had to bail them out.
It's
I'm
not
like,
surprising,
do
really.
we have to always go through that route of having to bail out something? They now posted everywhere that the sport ministry have rescued them, after being stranded. Like, why can't you just have... We know that this year is Nations Cup for the women's handball.
I mean,
there should be a budget
We've
for
not
it.
attended any Nations Cup since 1994. So you shouldn't, that
So we
should
should
worry
be
you.
happy.
Yeah, that should even worry you.
So now that you're going, you qualified, but this is something you look forward to. This is something you've been planning for. This is something you qualified for. There should be more preparations in terms of logistics. And of course, when you talk about logistics, you're talking about money. It shouldn't be at the final moment. It's something you've not been to for a very long time, and you're going, you're having this kind of poor showing.
We didn't get those preparations. So we just take the result as it comes. At the next play, Cameroon on Thursday. Whatever happens, we'll take it.
Yeah, Group B. Yeah, whatever happens, we will take it. And of course, Cameroon played Kenya also in the same. You have Kenya, Cameroon, Nigeria, and DR Congo in Group B.
Sisi, don't worry.
Okay.
Let me not sound bad.
Oh, pessimistic. Be optimistic. Can we
No,
beat the Cameroonians?
not feasible.
Okay, all right.
Same as Kenyans as well.
Okay, but at least we can go there and at least get a win and come back home. That will just be playing for pride. We'll leave that and talk about Nigeria Professional Football League match day 26, the games for today. MFM and Abia Warriors will be playing in Lagos. So just take a look at all the games for today, where you have Plateau United and Katsina will be in action. Eimba and Adama will also be in action. Rivers United and Kano Pillars. Yes, I know that's the one everyone will be looking forward to. Accra United and Heartland, Jigawa Golden Stars and Wiki Tourists. You have Lobby Stars and Rangers, MFM, of course, Abia Warriors, Ifeanyi and Kwara United, Sunshine Stars and Takada, Nasarawa United and Warri Wolves are the games to look forward to today in the Nigeria Professional Football League match day 26. Which one's going to get you talking?
I mean, starting from Lagos, MFM have been in fine, good form, beautiful form. I think in the last 6-7, they've not lost. So that's pretty good for them. They only dropped points in the last game, playing out the draw. And welcoming Abia Warriors as well. Also, somehow good travelers this season.
Yeah.
They don't really get to lose from home, away from home. They always manage to churn out, draw results and all of that. And I think their coach has been pretty decent as well. So I would love MFM to win it. It's going to be a close one, and I feel that could just end in a draw, for MFM and Abia Warriors. Then the other game you mentioned, Aqua United, Atlant, both coming off 2-2 draw, I think, from last time out.
Yeah.
Aqua United would want to take advantage. Caterpillars, that crucial win over Eimba has kept them top of the table.
Yeah.
They travel to Rivers United. They know getting the point will probably keep them there and prevent the others, Aqua United and the likes, from coming closer. So Aqua United will fancy their chances of winning at home against Heartland. But then Caterpillars, I'm sure the strategy will be avoid a defeat in Port Harcourt. Then let's see what happens in the other games as well. So there's 3 key games for me. I'm looking forward to all of them.
Definitely key for you. Okay, we'll see how it's going to pan out at the end of the day and see if Kano Pillars will remain on top, because Aqua United breathe down on their neck. 46 points they have, so Kano Pillars, should they drop points and Aqua United get to win, then it's only possible that Aqua United go back to the fourth.
Exactly. So that's why I said the pillar strategy will be let's avoid a defeat in Rivers. If they go on the lose and the other results, comes out good for the...
Because Aqua is home to
Exactly.
Heartland.
That's why I said they will fancy the chances of getting all 3 points. Kwara United as well in the mix. Kano Pillars are the only ones away from home. And then they'll just feel, you know what, let's avoid the defeat so that we can maintain that number 1
position. They just
position.
needed a draw to maintain that. And I think they can get it against Rivers.
No, it's difficult. Of course, playing in Rivers as well is not... most teams don't get lucky when they go to Port Harcourt. Rivers United are pretty decent on their home front.
Yes.
And then you probably will fancy the chances of, yes, we can win our own games and maybe strive to get points away from them. But when they're at home, they look pretty strong. The only time they've dropped points when they play maybe big teams like Kano Pillars. So if Kano Pillars gets the strategy right or correctly today, they can get a point. But I wouldn't be surprised if Rivers comes out top in this particular fixture.
I'm surprised too. Okay, we'll leave Nigeria Professional Football League and talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria, the summer series in the US. Yes, it's happening. You know what happened before me with SCAF coming up with Falcons had to play in the first round, playing against Ghana. We're like, what's going to happen? And the match pinning to us are like, no matter what happens, even if it means us having 2 teams, this summer series will definitely go ahead. There you have the Super Falcons, the ones from Nigeria, arriving in the US for the game. All the players will be meeting them later today. The likes of Asata Shola, Rita Chikwelu, Charity Adule, Chidima Okeke, Tuchu Oloy and Rashida Ajibade will be joining them later today in camp. But let's just take a look at the players that are in camp already for the Super Falcons, starting with Dimehi Oluwatosi, have Ibe Abidemi. I know some of these names are really not familiar because they had to look for other players to join. Ugbona Gloria, she's also there. Akudo, she's also part of the team there. Etim Sunday, Ikechukwu Vivian, these are the players we know. Ikechukwu Vivian, Rivers Angels. Bukiri Joy, Monday Gift, Mbadi Unju, Amandi, Yewande Belogun, She's from a goalkeeper in the US. She's from the US. You have Oyinyechi Zog from Switzerland. She's a defender. Rosa Ario from Finland. She was also called up to the team. Nico Payne, you already know her. She's played before from the US. Odega, of course, Francisca Odega, Tony Payne, and Ifoma Omomu. She's also from the US. You just have some new names, right? I mean, you're looking at this and like, where are these players from? But the coach had to, spread out his net to see those players who want to play for Nigeria,
Yep.
and they are good enough to bring them into the squad. It's a summer series, so it's a test game for the Super Falcons, and of course for the coach to also familiarize more with the players. And remember, they were in Turkey. That was the first series they played. They won that, against most of the nations that came. And for this one against the US, it's going to be very, very tough because the US team, they're preparing for the Olympics. Jamaica are there. The Jamaicans are there. The
Portuguese as well, yeah.
The Portuguese are also in that summer series.
Oh, well, good way to prepare, good way to warm up. Because we're still disappointed. I'm still disappointed with that game we played, over a year ago against Cote d'Ivoire. That
Willing to qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm still very disappointed. But then again, yes, we're not going to the Olympics, but we're keeping the team very busy. And I think that's good. Before the qualifiers for the ALCON resumes, and then the World Cup qualifiers as well, let's get these games. And so we don't talk about, the Super Falcons don't get friendlies or don't get to play big sides. USA is the A team.
Of course.
And so it's not like
he's
not like the B team, the Portuguese as well, and then the Jamaicans. Hopefully we get more friendlies, and then we'll see them, become that. They are number one in Africa.
Yes.
But we just want to see the chemistry, the synergy, a lot more tighter when they go out and play. So when you file out against an African side, let them know we're playing a team.
We're not in your league.
Exactly, we're not on the same level. Let's just breeze through this, and then our target is compete with those guys up there. I mean, the teams up there, and then who knows, we can conquer the world at the next World Cup. Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. And the next World Cup is 2023. Yeah, we can actually do
anything is possible.
Yeah.
So from the qualifiers to the ALCON proper, Olympics qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, anyone, bring it on. We're good. We're good to go.
We're good to go. It's just the consistency and also continuous games like this for the girls.
But I think to be fair on the football also, this year, and since maybe Waldrum came on board, they've played some friendlies already, some invitational tournament. This is another one. I feel we'll get more invitational tournaments for the Falcons. We just want to see that. I just personally want to see that blend anytime they file out. And then, like I said, let's just conquer the world. That's all I'm after.
Yeah. I trust the Falcons can do that. If you're thinking of any team that can win the World Cup, when it comes to football, I think it's the Falcons. Okay, let's talk about the Super Eagles right now. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, I'm still looking for Kenneth Rohr first 11. I don't have it.
You guys can conquer the world?
On our Facebook page if you think Facebook pages, channels, having sports. Talk to us about that. If you can help Kenneth Rohr with his first 11, because we played, confirmation of what happened. Confirmation of what happened yesterday. It was a goalless game. I know of so many people who feels they don't even want to watch the game. But kudos to Nigerian Football Federation. It was streamed live on their YouTube page, so we're able to see the game. It ended goalless for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That game ended goalless. If you can take a look at that and other friendlies, African teams, and we'll talk about. You have to see pictures of it. He promised that he was going to start Uzoho, but then Uzoho got injured while he was training, so he couldn't start. So he had call back to Maduka Okoyemuka.
What happened to
John Noble? No, but what do you make of his selection? Because he promised he was going to change everything, but nothing was really changed when we saw the first 11. So what do you think?
I honestly don't want to talk about Rohr and his selections because it looks like he has a fixed mind on whatever he wants to get from a game. I'm not the coach, so. But then again, I felt you've invited as much as 21 players to come to prosecute 2 friendly games. We could have just seen all 21 feature. It would have been nice if we had seen all 21 feature. But using the likes of Awazim, Ndidi, Enacho, Onuachu to play games back to back, after a long season, and then bringing on players, Darren Murphy in the second half, Abraham Marcus. It somehow, for me, defeats the purpose of the friendly games. But then again, I mean, he's Rohr, he's the manager. Hopefully, he finds a good answer when he's asked those questions. But I was pretty disappointed with the selections, and then I don't know. After this window, we've got that Mexico friendly on the cards. After the Mexico friendly, we'll probably start the AFCON qualifiers. Is Rohr already looking to get his team for the AFCON qualifiers? Is that the reason why he's stuck with this boys that I trust? You know, even in this friendlies, that's I mean, a lot of questions has to be asked. Then he's got to provide answers as well. But I felt the purpose of inviting 21 for a two-match game against Cameroon was defeated, really, overall.
Okay, overall. Now, I know of so many people who feels they didn't want to watch the game because they felt what they've seen in that first game, we lost to Cameroon, there's nothing else Rohr can offer in the second one.
Okay, so from that angle, I mean, in the first game, we did put out a good shift.
Okay.
Created chances, shots from outside the box and all, crosses that were pretty decent as well. Goalkeeper, of course, I mean, the defense was maybe not very well coordinated, but at least we still saw a semblance of a good team in that first game, despite the loss. The second game, one could have felt we could see anything, we would have seen anything better than what we saw in the first. But yesterday's game, CC, even both teams just looks like let's this 90 minutes end and let's just go.
No, because the Cameroonian coach made 10 changes, right?
And that's
we saw that.
And so that's the thing with your opponent or your opposition is making as much as 10 changes from the first game. There we are stuck with regular boys because somehow somebody wants to maintain a good record against Cameroon for the start or what. And that's why I said earlier that the purpose of inviting 21
was defeated.
Was defeated, really. Because if you had wanted to stick with your regulars or your loyal guys, and then you could have just invited 14 or 15.
And that's because when you had 16 players in camp, he was complaining.
Exactly.
You don't have all the players in camp. So what was the point of telling someone to drive all the way from Hungary to join them in camp if you know he's going to play 2 or 3 minutes?
To just enjoy the ambience of the Super Eagles. Because you can't tell us that everybody picked up an injury like Uzod.
Okay. So, now, you know what? We need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll listen to Genedro. He's got explanations for most of these questions. Rotimi Akindele, just ask.
Of course, a special reason. You were with us in the camp. He was injured. He came this morning with a painful leg, and he told me, "Coach, I cannot make it." Like Olayinka, he had to start. Yesterday we tried with him. He was injured in the training, but it's not a big injury. But we don't take any risk. I don't want to let the players with an injury go home or go in holidays or return in the club. No, everybody made a good job today. We could bring in some new players. We had a defense in the end with a winger left back position. The players are really very, very, very motivated. And what we can say now that I don't have only 30 players, I have 45 now. Because from the first list I made, 16 couldn't make it. And we found 12 other players to come in the last moment by car from Hungary, from Czechoslovakia. So we have some boys who are really proud to be with us, and we can be grateful that they could give us at least 17 players for the camp, for the field to play with our 2 goalkeepers. Yeah, we had a problem to build a defense. So we played with the first time with Valentine, and he did very well. And we finished the match with Simon Moses, which is a winger, on the left back position. So, and we didn't concede a goal. I'm very happy for Valentine. A lot of people did not understand why he was with us. He showed today the reasons why he can play with us. He did very well with his left foot in central defense. And the result is not the most important in these friendlies. The most important is to test some players, to see some new faces What was the case again today? We didn't want to concede a goal. We wanted to score. We could not. But when you are missing players like Osimhen, like Chukwueze, like Aribo, like Kalu, like Henry, it's not easy. But they did well. We had a lot of chances in these two games. We couldn't score. We missed a little bit also, I think, of realism in front of the goal. But the match today was interesting. It was the last match of the season for a lot of them. They came in the middle of the holidays to work hard for 10 days with us. And the fruits of the work will come. I think we will be ready on September for our World Cup qualifiers against Liberia and Cape Verde.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the fruits of all these friendlies. That is, of course, when the qualifier starts in September, we should be ready. Liberia and Cape Verde just mentioned that he has a pool of 45 players right now because of the players he invited. And for you not giving them so much time, how are you sure that these players will readily fit into the squad? If you have a pool of 45 players, according to him, because he had 16 more on the joining the team of what we had before, and some players having to drive down because others were not available. Doesn't mean that out of that 45, you still can't really say if Ndidi is not playing, there's a direct replacement for him. I don't have to play Ndidi in every game. I don't have to play Kelechi Iheanacho. I don't have to play Paul Onwancho because you heard him talking about the players that are not there. That's the reason we couldn't beat Cameroon over 2 legs. And you have a pool of 45 players. So I'm asking, what's the job of a coach if you cannot get a direct replacement to every player that you're missing on the field of play?
Oh, well, he should have answered this question by himself. But then again, like we've been saying, it's Gernot Rohr. Is that sort of manager. I mean, I've been following him since 2016 when he took charge.
Yeah.
That sort of manager that stick to his guns, whatever he's made up his mind to do, you can hardly influence that thing off his mind or his decision. So you inviting players just to probably fill up the system or make the game look like an actual friendly, a FIFA certified friendly and all of that. That's why you wanted to have 21 players. But in terms of the choices he makes, the starting 11, the substitutions, I felt he could have utilized all 21.
Yeah.
But then it's Gernot Rohr. So he knows what, I want to assume he knows what he's doing.
Okay.
He's mentioned some players that he's missed from these friendlies. So hopefully
those
in his
are regular
mind,
players.
Hopefully in his mind, those players will be available for the qualifiers in September.
What
and then
if they are not available and he did not get to beat Liberia on Cape Verde?
so that
are we
means-
going to have hear the same thing he's saying right now? Because when we lost to Cameroon, he mentioned the same thing that these players are missing. That's the reason we lost.
Remember when we lost to South Africa
again.
in Uyo some years ago?
Yeah.
He actually mentioned that, we lost this game because we didn't have this set of players, this and this player. That's why we lost that game. So is that sort of manager that when you lose a game, he tells you,
look where the blame will go to, not for him.
We lost this because we don't have a Kylian Mbappe or Cristiano Ronaldo in the squad or Victor Osimhen or something. He just mentions names of those that he's been used to over the years. So we'll just wait. Hopefully we don't have to say all of this against Liberia and Cape Verde. Let's just get past that stage. I feel the most important stage of the World Cup qualifiers is that second phase, which is a knockout stage over 2 legs. I think that will be a lot more tougher.
Okay. All right. We played Cameroon. We'll be waiting and anticipating the game. Yeah, it's ended, and it ended over 2 legs. We got a point from it, right? It's not so bad. First one, we lost by long goal. Second, it was goalless. Maybe September will smile on us and we'll be able to beat at least a team for Nigerians to celebrate Gernot Rohr. And, of course, the talented Super Eagles of Nigeria. Papers now starts with complete sport. And the complete sport here, you have Ndidi, now most valuable Eagle at 60 million euros. Paul Onwancho is also there. Jai is there. And Iheanacho there. Their market values are rising. Maja, Olaino, monetary values drop. Of course, the club went down to championship.
Yeah, sure.
So that's the reason for this one. Now, Ndidi, now most valuable Eagle at 60 million euros. You're having a player like this, play for your national team, and you're talking about players that you don't have, and that's why you can't win a game. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Okay, I think I need
All
to
the
be
best.
okay. All the best to the Super Eagles of Nigeria and also to Coach Kenneth Rohr. He's been here since 2016, and this is 2021. How many years now? 5 years. Okay.
5 years in August.
Okay. Longest serving coach, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. After. Okay. You know, okay, I have a guest in the studio who don't want to talk about the Super Eagles anymore. So we'll leave it at that. Kenneth Rohr says that Eagles will be ready in September. Yes, that's what I said. Game Liberia, Cape Verde. So we should be ready for
Yeah,
that
we
in
should be.
September.
I mean, straight wins.
Straightforward.
Cape Verde might be a lot tougher, but we should be ready.
Yeah, the straight win we were talking about by 3 or 4 goals. That's when I will be satisfied. If it's not up to that, then there's no point. The next one is Sporting So right. It's still on into the market value rising 60 million euros. Salah, that of Salah and Mane dropped. Iheanacho leads in the Premier League fantasy. Olympiacos makes Oyenkuru top priority transfer target. Okay. All right. Of course, Genk is slapping 40 million euros on Paul Onuachu. That's his price tag. Okay.
That's good.
First one. All right.
I thought you were going to take the pigeon.
Okay. AJ and Usyk to fight at Spurs Stadium in September.
Or probably fight for Sports Stadium. Maybe Spurs has only one stadium. Right?
Yes.
We should get to see that story on Sporting Sun.
Okay, it should be interesting, but you're trying to make out what the headline is telling us, right?
Yeah, so that's why you should get the papers.
Okay. All right, Sporting Life is the last one this morning. And Sporting Life is still all about Ndidi and his market value. That's what you have there. And Sporting Life decided to convert the money to Naira. 30
makes it a lot
billion
more interesting.
Naira. Yes, 5th most expensive midfielder in the world. That's great for Ndidi. And we have this player with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Okay. All right. Rotimi Akindele, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a great day.